Grade 8, here we go. Let's get started. Lesson 92, bad typo there. Areas of triangles with variable dimensions, products of binomials. So what I've done is kind of made things a little easy for you. We've learned how to multiply these kind of things to find an area of a rectangle. And the way we've learned how to do it is just make them in proper fractions. So if we go 5 quarters times 17, not 5 quarters, 5 halves, my bad. 5 halves times 17 quarters, 17, we get 5 times 17, which is 5 times 20 is 100, 5 times 3 is 15, so we get 85. 85, 8 over 8, right? That would be our answer. How many times does 85 fit into 8? 10 times, and we're left with 5 left. So we know that it is 10 and 5/8 units squared. That is one way of figuring it out. There is another way of figuring this out, and that is by breaking it down. So 2.5, let's just say the half-inch mark is roughly, let's try to get a nice straight line here. The half-inch mark is roughly somewhere around there, right? And we also have a quarter. So let's just put our 1/4 inch right around there. So in order to, if we made these all into separate rectangles, it will make sense in a bit how this would work. So let's change our dimensions here to fit that. We actually have 2, and then over here we have a half, right? And we have 4 here, and we have a 1/4 here. So you see how we figured that piece out, right? So let's dimension this whole thing off. If we look over here, this is 1/4 inch, this is 1/2 inch. So we can actually figure out the area of this piece here as 1/4 times 1/2, which is 1/8. So we figure that area out. I'll just erase these out so you can just see what our areas are every time. So we know that that's 1/8, all right? We can also figure out the area of this one here is 2 times 1/4, right? So you have 2/4, or this is 1/2. Make sense? The other thing that we have figured out, we could figure out, now that we've got that one figured out, is what this big one is. We have 4 by 2, so this one's 8. Makes sense? And then the last one that we have to figure out is this one, which is 4. Right, so this whole area is 4 by half. Right, so 4 by half is 2. Okay, so we have this all figured out. So it's quite easy to figure out all of the rest of our fractions here, because we have 8 and 2. We can add them up together, and you get 10. Plus, we have this half and this 1/8. Well, then we have 10 plus 4/8 plus 1/8. So it's 10 and 5/8. Make sense? That's one way of doing it. That's a long way of doing it. But I'll show you this. It might be easier when you're trying to figure out something. Because really what you have is 4 plus 1/4 and 2 plus 1/2, and you're multiplying them together. So we can also go 4 times 2, which gives us 8, 4 times half, because we've done that, equals 4 over 2, which is 2, right? And then we can go 1/4 times 2. Oops, sorry, I have a plus here. Let's do this one a different color on the top so you can see how I'm doing this. 1/4 times 2, which is 2/4, which equals 1/2. And then we can go 1/4 times 1/2, which is plus 1/8. You see how we're getting the same numbers? We get 10 plus 4/8, I'm converting that, plus 1/8. So we get 10 and 5/8. So that's another way of doing that. And this one can go a little bit faster than improper fractions, But it especially makes sense when we start working with things that are not the same. And that's when we start working with multiplying a square, for example. Oh, let me try to draw this correct. There. There. Oh, it's not going to work. So here we go. We got x plus 3 and x plus 2. Okay, so that makes it a little bit more difficult to figure out. Now we could easily separate these things like we did before. We have our 3's here, we have our 2's there, right? So we have x. So we have a 3 and a 2 here, so we have 6. We have a 2 and an x here, so that's 2x. We have a 3 and an x, see 3 and an x here, so that'd be 3x. Let me clean up some of the numbers here so you can see what's going on. And the last thing that we have is an x times an x, which would be an x squared. So our answer is really x squared plus 3x plus 2x plus 6. And that gives us x squared plus 5x plus 6. Now there's an easier way to do this because this looks like an awful lot of work if you have to draw a box every time. So we can go x plus 3 times x plus 2 because that's going to find that area. Quite easy to do. I'm going to draw the arrow so you see x has to be multiplied by x has to be multiplied by 2, and then after you're done that you have to go plus 3 times x and then plus 3 times plus 2. Okay, so let's go through the green ones first. X times x gets us x squared. X times positive 2 gets us 2x. All right, and then we're going to add the red ones on there. So 3 times x is, or actually it's a positive 3 times x is plus 3x. And then plus 3 times plus 2 gets us a plus 6. So our answer, x squared plus 5x plus 6. That saved us all the work of drawing all these boxes with lines on it. So as long as you understand the concept that you have to multiply the first one, right, by the first one, and the first one by the last one, inside by the first, inside by the last. Now they have a term here that they use for that sequence, and they call it first, because you're going first to first, outside, outside to outside, inside, which is inside to inside, and last. These are the last in the brackets. It's called FOIL. If you can remember that term, that'll help an awful lot. With this, I'm going to quickly go through the practice set. Okay, so it says, what is the area, for A, it says, what is the area of the rectangle? Make a sketch and check by multiplying. Okay, so it says x plus 4 and x plus 2. So that is, they want you to do it the long way. X plus 4 and x plus 2. So here's our x box. Well, there's a good joke for you, the next box. And then, of course, you have the rest there. So you'll see that with our lines here, we have x and x. So x times x would get us x squared. This x can transfer over here, so x times 4 gets us 4x. And we have a 4 here, we have a 2 here. So far we got an x squared, we got a 4x. 2 times 4 is 8, we got an 8. And then this one here is 2 times, of course, the x, which I have pulled from here. So that's 2x. So our answer really is x squared. How many x's? We have a 4x and a 2x. So that'd be a plus of 6x. And last one plus 8. That would be your answer. All right, so B, moving down to B. B says, what is the area of a square with the inside length of 4x? Sorry, x plus 4. Okay, so list and explain each step you need to find the answer. Okay, so the first thing that you'd have to do is write down the given problem, because you know that this side is going to be x plus 4 as well. So it's really x plus 4, x plus 4. All right, let's do the firsts. So firsts are x times x, you get x squared. Let's do the outside. This is the outside x, this is the outside 4. X times 4 is 4x. Let's do the inside. 4 times x is 4x. And then the last one, positive 4 times positive 4 is positive 16. Our answer will be x squared plus 8x plus 16. All right, C. Now, if you're getting better with this, maybe you want to try it out. Here it says, find the product x plus 2 and x plus 5. Depict the product with a rectangle. Okay, so here's our rectangle. I just feel after getting 3 straight, I should get the last one straight too. Okay, so we got x plus 5, x plus 2. So 2 is a chunk. 5 is a chunk as well. So here we go. If we clear it up so that you can see it a little bit easier, we're going to have x here, x here. Oh, I can move that 5 too as well, right? So we got a 5 here. So 5 times, grab the top number, gives us 5x on the bottom here. And we have a 5 times a 2 here, so that gives us a 10 over there. Then we have a 2 here times an x, that gives us 2x. And an x times an x gives us an x squared. So what do we have? We have x squared plus our 2x, and our 5x is plus 7x plus 10. That gives us our answer. D. X plus 1, x plus 3. Okay, same kind of thing. First, we go with firsts, x squared. Now we go with outsides, plus 3x. Now we go with insides, 1 times x plus x. And then we go with the lasts, 1 times 3 plus 3. 3x plus x, so we get x squared plus 4x plus 3. There is your answer. I'm going to go quicker through these, so you should be catching the concept. Hit pause if you want to try it on your own. E, x plus 4, x plus 7. Firsts, x and x is x squared. Lasts, outside, sorry, that's the next one. Plus 7x, x and 7, plus insides, 4x, plus outsides, 28. So we actually wind up getting x squared plus 11x plus 28. F, hit pause once you've figured it out. It's a little bit different. X plus 3 squared. Well, there's a little bit different of a way of doing it, but it's actually the same as x plus 3 times x plus 3. Very easy to figure out. We go with firsts. X times x is x squared. X times, so now we go last. X times 3 plus 3x. Insides plus 3x. And lasts, sorry, plus 9. So you have x squared plus 6x plus 9. G. X plus 10 squared. Hit pause if you're ready to try it on your own. Here's the solution. X plus 10 times x plus 10. You get your firsts, right? And that would be x squared. X times x is x squared. And then we have our outsides, yes, plus 10x. Plus 10x, because that's your insides. And then your lasts, plus 100. So you get x squared plus 20x plus 100. Okay, H. You have x plus 8. Now this is going to be a little bit different because it's got a negative number there. Remember to do that negative number as a negative 3. So you have a negative 3. So it's a change. Try it, and I'll give you the solution. Here's your solution. We do our firsts, x squared. We do our outsides. Ooh, that's a neat one. Is negative 3x. You see, it's x times negative 3. The next one we do is the insides. It's plus 8. So now we have plus 8x. And now we do the lasts. Plus 8 times negative 3 is negative 24. So if we're at negative 3x and we add 8x, we're at plus 5x. So x squared plus 5x, subtract 24. And there is your answer. All right, I, moving on. We have x minus 5 times x plus 2. Again, they're throwing a negative number in there, so be careful. Hit pause, try it on your own. Okay, first we go, x times x is x squared. Now we go to outside, x times positive 2 plus 2x. Now we go inside. Negative 5 times x is negative 5x. And now we go to lasts. Negative 5 times positive 2. And, whoops, I did that incorrectly. It is a negative 10. So your answer is x squared plus 7x subtract 10. All right, K. This is our last... No, I, J. We got second last one. J is x plus 2, x minus 2. Give her a shot for the solution. And here is your solution. We are going to go with outsides. No, first, sorry, x squared. Then we're going to go to the outsides. So remember, FOIL. So that is x times negative 2 is negative 2x. Oh, this one's going to be fun. And then you go to the inside. Plus 2x, plus 2 times x is plus 2x. And then we have plus 2 times negative 2, which is negative 4. You'll see that these two cancel each other out. And negative 2x plus 2x gives us 0. We don't have to put that in there. So our answer is going to be x squared minus 4. All right, let's move on to the next one and the last one, that's K. They're going to use the same concept except with numbers. So you could treat it exactly the same way. 20 plus 2, 20 minus 2. So go firsts. 20 times 20 is 400. We go outside. 20 times negative 2. Subtract 40. Right, so then we go, the next one is inside, plus 2 times 20 is plus 40. And then we go plus 2 times negative 2, subtract 4. You see that a negative 40 and a positive 40 cancel each other out. So we wind up having 400 minus 4, which is 396. And there is your lesson, albeit a longer one. Hopefully it's very clear after we went through all of these practice sets. So make sure you mark your work for lesson 91. Turn